Hello and welcome to the Happy, Healthy, Strong podcast. This is a podcast dedicated to helping you live a happier, healthier, and stronger life. Building a life that you love starts with you owning your health and intentionally creating the best version of yourself. So if you're looking to better understand how proper nutrition, daily movement, mindset work, and strength training can help you create a life full of happiness and health, then you are in the right place. I generally hope that the tips, tricks, and information that we share will be the catalyst for change. I'm your host, Adam Lane. It's time to dive in.
I love it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Happy, Healthy, Strong podcast. I'm your host, Adam Lane. Got the intro out. There we go.
Finally.
With four-time guest,
Yeah.
Stacey Caler of the Wellness Refinery. Stacey, thanks for joining us again.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Look at this, Stacey. I'm excited. This is going to be part one of a four-part series going into mental health, which is a big buzzword. Oh. And I don't want to talk about this because it's buzzy. I want to, because I sometimes in the world we're good at making big things from little things and whatnot. And I think we can, not saying mental health is a little thing, because that's not what I'm saying at all.
It's a big thing.
It's a big thing that has become a bigger thing in 2025 than what it was many, many years ago. And
why is that? So many reasons, right? So many reasons that we will talk about.
Yes,
because we have a plan.
Yes. And so the part one of this, and, we're, with the mental health, people always think, oh, the brain and the mind and blah, 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 blah. But it affects the body, Stacey. It's the
head to toe.
The head to toe. The mental affects the physical affects the mental. In your practice, working with the people that you do, how do you see mental health affecting the body?
Man, every way. It's so sad that first of all, we have to really address this big elephant in the room. We don't have good support for mental health. We had a better handle on it ish. I am totally in favor of and support our mental health providers and our workers, because man, what a job. Yeah. What a job. And usually they're getting people in their office and getting therapies and so on and so forth after they've struggled. These individuals have struggled for eons. Yeah. So, but what I see in my practice specifically is the physical effects on the body and the mind and the residual fallout across the families and friends and work and so much more. We see it with their foods, the eating issues. We see, of course, alcohol. We see drug use. We see physical wear and tear. I actually, some people say, well, I work out and I think that's amazing, but then they don't look at the rest of their body. They just focus on one component, and it is an all encompassing, I think. And we talked about this earlier before we were live. Exercise can make such a difference in a body, but fatigue, muscle weakness, brain fog, massive sleep disorders. We also deal with people who come in and they don't know what's wrong. They really don't. They have no idea. Why do I feel this way? Yep. And then when we start talking during our visit and we start to unfold things that maybe they had pocketed away, we start to see that, work is really beating me up. A family situation it's coming to a head, and I didn't really realize it was taking this effect. Yeah. So I think it's all encompassing. We deal with what is going on in our world today. Being the age that I am, I've gotten to see a lot of different in events in our world. And for listeners, that's 36. If you're just listening, right. But first of all, let's go back. He just had a birthday, and he's like 22 now. So there's 22. There's that. Yes. So happy belated birthday. But I deal with I've never had to really think about this, but it's crazy when I have people who are coming to me and They don't know what's going on. They don't know why they're so ill.
Yep.
They don't know why a chronic illness is becoming, acute and being present. They don't know why their back hurts. They don't know why they're having headaches or these different situations. And then they might tell me that, they've watched the news 24/7, or they're surrounded by very disruption in their family life because of political views and so on and so forth. And I'm like, go for a walk.
Yeah.
You gotta get outside of your head. It's not productive for your brain.
Well, and this is a goofy thing to me because I could be wrong, but when Bush was running against Clinton in 1992, I don't remember my parents losing their mind over, will he win? Will he win? Da, 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 da. Like, there was an election, somebody won, we moved on, blah, 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 blah.
We took it one step at a time.
And it didn't affect us. It didn't affect. And now it's amazing how oddly, and let's be, I hate all politics.
Well, we don't talk politics.
But Trump will say this, and this guy will say this, and then Pelosi will say this, and da 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 da. And it affects people in ways because it just pops to our pocket.
Yeah.
And this is why I think it's different. This is why I find it odd that I feel like we have more mental health services than we have ever in the world, and it's not enough.
Yeah.
Because we keep doing the wrong things that are affecting our bodies, that are stressing us out, that really aren't affecting most of us most days.
I think our biggest thing with that specifically is, sometimes we're just so out of control.
Yeah.
Where we want to have control and we want to have a voice. We just want to be heard, or perhaps we just want someone to listen to us. We may not even care if they actually, we don't.
Wait, what'd you say?
Right?
Hey,
right. So, but the thing is it doesn't matter if I believe the way you believe. It doesn't matter if I vote the way you vote or whatever it may be. I just want you to know this is how I feel. Now share with me. What is your thought? Because why wouldn't we be that way?
And how funny. I feel like there was a time where at least is how I grew up. Like, you didn't know how people voted.
No, you never knew
they
that.
Didn't share it with you, and it was inappropriate and rude.
You should not.
Should not ask.
Yeah,
I didn't ask my parents who they voted for.
Why would you? It's their opinion.
Which honestly, looking back, that would have been good conversation, I think, to have within a family. But not other people. But now people wear like a.
But not aggressive behavior, not aggressive conversation. It's just a matter of getting to know the person and their views.
Yes.
But,
and now it's just in your face all the time.
Yeah. And so let's go back to this. That's mental health.
Yes.
That's
100%.
Stress. We both know that stress is, it's a killer.
Yes.
It's a killer. Heart attacks, depression, anxiety, all these things that can be, the root cause of a situation that has caused prolonged exposure to stress.
100%.
So, what do you do? How does this change? What can we do about this? There's so many things and so many levels that you can do. But you have to first identify that, okay, I have something going on, right? That's the biggest thing, is admitting that, you know what, man, I am really digesting this poorly. And I'm not talking about the steak I just ate. I'm talking about what's going on in my world, whether it's work, the kids, my house, my husband, my job, patients, whatever it may be. If I have something that is sparking an imbalance in me, mental, physical, whatever, spiritual for that matter, I have to be able to say, look, either I got to talk to somebody, I got to go for a walk, and for me, it's talk to God. Not everybody does that. And that's cool. Whatever you want to do, I'm okay with that. But find your outlet that's going to be a positive for your body and your mind, because there are outlets that people choose that can be problematic.
Yes.
Right? So you have to find a way, because the prolonged exposure to a mental health component, depression, anxiety, multi levels of issues with mental health, and our issues that we have dealing with that. You have to identify it and be okay with having that as, okay, hey man, I need a little bit of help.
Yeah.
If that's going and talking to a friend who's not going to pass judgment, but's going to listen to you and hear you. If it's going and talking to your spouse, your sister, your brother, your ma, your dad, or a therapist, which is a lot of times the best way to go because there's no preconceived notion. There's no history, it's like a clean slate every time you walk in there, you've got to be able to, be open to that.
Yeah.
So, but as far as the impact on a body with mental health as being the kind of the culprit, is there a limit? There's not, right? It's seriously head to toe.
Yeah.
And it doesn't stop with just your body, your mind, your heart, your spirit. It affects, how many people do we come in contact a day? So if you and I go to work and we're off, and we mask a lot of things. Let's face it. You walk into the shop and you are, boom, a different person.
Yep.
All your baggage is left behind, or it should be, right? That's what our goal is.
Yep.
But how much of that do we carry in our aura, if you believe in that kind of thing? My coloring changes because of whatever happened. My assistant Kelly, she can pick up on it really quick. She's like, what happened? And that we can't cover it up.
Yep.
You have to get it out.
Yeah.
A lot of times for me, it's when I go to work and if I have time, I will try to do a little bit of downtime where I'm meditating or I'm doing some prayer, or if I can go for a walk. A lot of people don't do that. You got to find what works for you.
Yeah.
What works for you? Yeah. What happens if you have a bad week and you're feeling it? What do you do?
So I think it depends. Because there are those weeks where I will do exercise in the gym, but I will not do exercise outside the gym.
Okay.
And I'm not saying distance running, in the woods, but just go for a walk outside. Yeah. Hey, the weather's about to get a little colder here. It's going to be less fun to go for walks.
Yes, it is.
But in my mind, still, at least for me, it's still really important. It's cold. I'll go outside. I'll throw on a hat. This is not a big deal. I think that's because I can screw up my mental health on any different way. Oh, there's just not one way.
There with you.
It could be, and literally it could be some stupid thing here at the gym that frustrates me, that, blah, 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 that, turns into, or it could be, Heather and I are frustrated about something that I probably did, which, kind of whatever. Or the kids did this and or man, I've just been too busy. I haven't been working out, or I missed a few days, or I got sick, I don't know. There's just a lot of different, I don't know. That could be a podcast in itself.
Right.
But yes, no, I think sorry, I want to add on to, because you said that the thing about how, I think people don't realize how the mental can affect the physical. And I told you this before we hit the record button. My sister, who had leukemia when she was a kid, now what is she? 42 now. Has 3 kids, doing great. Married a farmer. They're fantastic. But her pancreas doesn't fire on all cylinders, and so her and I could eat the same thing throughout the day, and her blood sugar do many different things. And so recently, I got her on a CGM, little continuous glucose monitor, and she's able to see it because she's a math person, math major, much smarter than I ever was. But she could see, hey, if I the order of her foods, if she eats her eggs and then her blanky blank and then some type of carbohydrate, her blood sugar does much less things than if she starts with that piece of toast, and then ends with the eggs. It's funny,
cool?
Funny how the order, affects things. Or if she eats and then hits that little 15-minute walk outside, what her blood sugar does, versus she had one morning where she ate breakfast, got in a car, had to drive kids around, really didn't do anything until then lunch hit. And she just went up and just kind of stayed there. And not like she was at 250, but got up to 140, 145, and it wouldn't come down. And it just and you feel, and then she'll have days where she is her kids are driving her bonkers, or her husband is driving her bonkers, right, or whatever it might be. And her blood sugar is just more all over the place than a Saturday morning when she gets all the sleep, wakes up
stress.
lazy. Stress is huge.
Yeah.
And I'll equate that to mental health. Like let's say stress,
Absolutely.
mental health, one and the same right here.
Agreed.
But when her stress level goes up through the roof, her physically, her blood, her sugar in her blood, her pancreas doesn't work the way it needs because the body has, this is where you're much better than I am, but the hormones and cortisol are through the roof. Yeah. Her body thinks she's being chased by a bear. So it's like, we're going to keep all the sugar in your blood just in case you need to sprint away from said bear and get but there's no bear. Okay.
No, there's just
no bear.
There's
no stress. But then it affects, it physically affects her where now all of a sudden she's carrying around this extra inflammation in her body, because her blood sugar shouldn't be that high. Right. And then it's hard on everything. It's hard on all the organs and whatnot, pumping all the blood through and whatnot. So
it's constant.
It's a killer. It's stress. Mental health is a killer.
Well, so like my little list that I made. So we had chronic stress increases cortisol.
Yeah. Huge.
Everybody complains about their cortisol, their adrenals, the whole thing. Anxiety, insomnia, fatigue, gut imbalance. Oh, Lord have mercy. And that's like one of my favorite things is gut health. When you have chronic stress, chronic depression, chronic anxiety, mental health, your gut, man, people don't realize. I mean, there's a direct line, people, from head to gut. You got to remember that we're one amazing system. Yeah. So
it's funny to think about it like that. I've never thought about it like that. Right there.
Right there. Brain to gut. So, mood, instability, anxiety, people, I mean, I did this. I don't do a lot of social media posts and such like that, but I had found this really cool thing
makes for better mental health.
Yeah, it really does. But it was talking about ADHD and foods and such like that, and it just, man, if you ever really looked at the food, if you want to call it food, because a lot of times I don't really know what we're eating. We are. You don't
think there's cheese in a Cheez-It? No,
God, that is not even allowed in certain countries. But the whole thing is, once we put that in our system, whatever it is, your body has to process it, right? And that's a big thing. It's a big thing. That's a big deal. I mean, that's a whole podcast on just digestion and what these chemicals, and you see it all the time on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever, all the crazy places, they will do what was and what is now. Doritos, or God forbid Doritos, even something as simple as like Cheerios and so on and so forth. They used to have a couple ingredients, 3, 4, 5. Now, dude, it's a paragraph. What is that stuff? I mean, I challenge your group. I challenge y'all. Take something, take a food out of your cupboard, a box food or a bagged food. Look at the ingredients. And I know some of you guys are wicked healthy, so don't be pulling out like beef tallow because then that ain't going to work. But something that probably isn't the greatest. And look at the ingredients. Now tell me of that what you know, and then find what the other stuff is and how that will affect your mental health. Yep. How will that affect your mental health? I mean, granted, going down, it might be wicked good. I mean, it might taste really, really good on your tongue, but that's one part of it. And it's a small part, right?
Do you know what a Taki is?
I think isn't it TAKI? It's a like a bagged food, a processed food.
like a chip type.
Yeah. I have never had one.
I think they're spicy.
Never had one.
I just saw a stupid video of a Ring camera. There's a bag of Takis on a table on a porch. A raccoon comes up, eats a Taki, puts it down, and runs away.
So you got to wonder, right?
Yes, like the raccoon knows.
How much smarter is a raccoon?
And what doesn't a raccoon eat? They eat anything.
I mean, they're garbage hungry, man.
We're not going to eat a Taki.
It's crazy. Yeah, I don't. I would challenge anybody that wants to be, really, really into this. And I love it because there's apps and such like that to help with that, grading your food and such. But really, it comes down to you knowing. Yeah. You knowing not even so much how it's going to affect your physical being, but your mental health. Granted, I will have a cup of, granted, my coffee is pretty daggone clean. But I still have my biggest component of dairy is I have about one little drip of heavy whipping cream, organic heavy whipping cream on my coffee. And then I fill it up with all the rest of the stuff that I take, all your collagen and everything. But my joy for having that first cup of coffee after I've done my mineral salt and my water, I look forward to that. Yep. I mean, I actually get up in the morning, want to race through my day to get to my joy. So we find food as joyfulness, but we have to understand how that's going to ultimately affect our mental health. Yeah. Because it's a moment, because the coffee's gone now. Yep. Where am I at? Yep. What has it done to me? Fortunately, I'm pretty strict about those things. But what if I had gone to a restaurant and made not a great choice? Yeah. How's that going to make me feel? Yeah.
Well, it's funny that you find joy in a very clean, healthy,
after years of work, though. Yeah. Well, years of work. Yes. Right? Because we weren't born this way.
Well, and I think we're raised like this, where that's where I think it's such a thing where I don't put together the idea of like, I don't know. Every time, I love my in-laws. Every time we go camping up in Devil's Lake, my mother-in-law loves to get cream horns, which cream horns? Yeah, it's a weird pastry-ish thing with a bunch of filling.
Yum.
Frosty. Oh no, it's literally good. Gluten and sugar infused. But nice. This is there's this emotional connection to, we go up north camping. And
so that's where your joy is.
Yes. Which I have no joy in that. I don't care. It doesn't affect me at all. So I think it's interesting versus if you're able to make those connections in the way of, hey, I'm going to have this healthy coffee of my, organic, blah, 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 and heavy whipping cream, organic heavy whipping cream, collagen, blah, blah, blah. And it just makes, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Versus, hey, this is my Starbucks Fropa Lapa, Lapa, Deepa, 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 Dida, Hada,
They really should put their ingredients on their drink. And I get it. I get it. Starbucks is Starbucks, and that's cool. My husband drinks it. My daughters drink it, or my daughter and my boys drink it. I'm not a big Starbucks person, but then again, I don't usually always have that opportunity, to do that. I drink my coffee really early in the morning and then I'm done. Yeah. But I know that are times, but if you're going to be doing something like that, make sure that you're working it out of your system. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's where the physical fitness comes in because, not only can, food affect you, obviously your stress and such, but I have to tell you, food, stress, anxiety, mental health components, depression, all these things, they also aggressively affect hormones, hormones, thyroid, oxidative stress. Mm-hmm. I mean, but if you're going to have something that's going to bring you some joy, like a food item, or if you're going to indulge in something, I don't know, whatever it may be, you have to understand, okay, there may be a little bit of residual fallout. Yeah. You've got to be prepared for that. You've got to know that, okay, my assistant, she's a wild woman workout. I love her. She's amazingly fit. It's taken her a long time to get there. And she acknowledges that journey, but she'll cheat. I mean, not cheat, but she'll have her indulgences, but then she knows she's busting butt, for 2 hours at the gym with her man, and it's going to be game on.
A little bit of balance.
That's it. Balance. Mm-hmm. But that could be the same thing about the TV, 100%. Right? If you're watching the news or whatever, you've got to balance it. So, okay, I'm going to watch. I don't even want to talk about my husband, but anyway, there's some news channels out there. Mm-hmm. To be honest with you guys, I don't have time to watch the news. I get updates from my family to let me know how I should be thinking, but I love them. You're going to sit and watch the news for a bit, or maybe catch up on the world today. Then you got to go. Yeah. You got to get your time in, and then you got to go and release the stress that you just accumulated. Yep. Because if you don't, what's going to happen? Yeah. You're going to explode. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So if you're going to watch the news in the morning and then you're going to go to the gym, awesome sauce. Why? Because now you're going to go pump iron about whatever was posted or whatever, who's TikToking this or whatever is happening. You're going to go exercise it out of your head and at least allow your body to decompress.
Yeah.
And then maybe you won't build up, right?
Yeah.
Because like you said, it's an amazing thing. Balance.
Yeah.
Moderation.
It's just, I don't want to say it's easy, but
No, it isn't.
It can be very simple.
Well, you're a gym owner and have been for eons. You actively work out aggressively. It ain't easy.
Sometimes too hard, but yes.
But it ain't easy, right?
It is not.
It is a commitment to your self-health.
Yeah.
They should be thinking about that as mental health as well, because physical fitness can pave the way to health and wellness.
Yeah. Well, and Stacey, that is a great lead in to the next podcast.
All
so
right.
Listeners, you hang on here because again, 4-part series here.
Yeah.
Next part going into treatment options when it comes to everything mental health and what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. Listeners, thanks for listening. Stacey, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
We'll catch you here again. We'll do it.
Awesome.
Take care. That's all we have for you today. If you have any questions or want to chat or interested in seeing what we're up to in between episodes, head over to Instagram and Facebook and follow @OakStrength. Also check us out at oakstrength.com. If you like this episode, please share it with someone who wants to live happy, healthy, and strong. If you really liked it, subscribe and review the Happy, Healthy, Strong podcast on iTunes or Spotify. Be sure to tune back in next week and remember to keep owning your health.